Straight ahead on WBKB, Governor Whitmer announces a plan to put more money in the pockets of some Michigan workers.
Plus, recognition for our local Girl Scouts' hard work, and some Alpena High School students take a deeper look at Thunder Bay.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz. The Biden administration announced Thursday it will donate millions of unused COVID-19 vaccines internationally.
The move comes as the White House makes a big push to get more Americans vaccinated during June. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
It's a full court press to get more Americans vaccinated. The White House has announced new incentives, including sweepstakes and Super Bowl tickets, along with extended hours at pharmacies on Friday nights and free drop-in childcare for parents getting their shots.
What this month is going to be about is meeting people where they are.
As part of the initiative this month, the White House is partnering with the Black Coalition Against COVID to get Black-owned businesses, including barbershops and hair salons, involved in the outreach.
What we are now focusing on are those who are still on the fence or those who are resisting.
The group's co-founder, Dr. Reed Tuckson, says they're moving rapidly to get salons registered and trained.
There are so many rumors and unsubstantiated statements that pervade the conversation in our barbershops and beauty salons that we want to help barbers and stylists to have access to facts and then be able to help inform the conversations.
The push comes as President Biden tries to meet his goal of having 70% of American adults at least partially vaccinated by July 4th. Right now, with daily vaccination rates dropping, the U.S. is at risk of falling short.
12 states have reached that 70% target, but in the South, 6 states have less than 1/3 of their population fully vaccinated. As supply begins to exceed demand, the Biden administration has announced a new plan to share the vaccine globally.
We're in a position to help others, so we will help others.
The administration says it will share at least 80 million vaccine doses worldwide by the end of June. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Governor Whitmer announced a plan to boost paychecks for Michigan workers.
The governor's economic jumpstart plan offers incentives for employers to increase wages. Under the plan, the state will provide grants to small businesses to ramp up hiring and expand access to child care for families with young children who want to return to work but can't. Whitmer introduced the plan Thursday while in Grand Rapids.
The plan will ensure that Michiganders earn at least $15 an hour by giving businesses grants to cover the difference between existing hourly wage and $15.
Whitmer says Michigan's recovery continues to pick up steam. She says the state's unemployment rate is now 4.9%, which is a full percentage point below national average.
That's good news.
It is.
Here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, really warmed up today.
It did. A lot of us managed to get into the lower 80s, although it was cooler near the shoreline. We are seeing mostly cloudy skies along the M32 stretch. Here's a look at Lachine, and you can see all of those clouds overhead, but the sky's a little bit brighter for areas farther south. More blue sky just north of Rose City along M33. Currently in Alpena, it's mostly cloudy and 84 degrees. 80 with clear skies in Oscoda, mostly cloudy in Rogers City at 77 degrees. It is going to get seriously hot this weekend, and I'm going to show you what happens inside your car when the temperatures get as hot as what I'm calling for this weekend. Stay tuned for that a bit later in the program.
Thank you for that, Ellie. We'll see you in just a bit. One organization that helps victims and their families end various forms of violence and discrimination also aims to help people in our local LGBTQ+ community. Alpena's Hope Shores Alliance offers counseling and other support services. Staff is experienced to help with all types of people. One staff member says identifying as part of the LGBTQ+ community has been beneficial to her job and the community.
With me being in this role, I feel it's super helpful because I am a part of those communities, so they're going to feel a little bit more comfortable coming forth with it, I feel. And I actually have had a couple of survivors that have come forth just because they felt comfortable finally.
Johnson says people who identify in this community are also victims of assault and gender discrimination.
More often than not, we realize that it is people that have been done off of gender-based violence, that have been off of being a part of the BIPOC population, and feeling like you're not heard is probably one of the worst things.
Johnson says Hope Shores Alliance is a safe space for all. Staff at the organization say they are working on adding more safe spaces in Alpena.
Local Girl Scouts may have had a much different year, but they still persisted with their mission. WBKB's Tiffany Maddox has more.
One thing local Girl Scouts have learned:
teamwork, getting along.
Girl Scouts met at Camp Woodlands Wednesday for an award ceremony, getting recognized for their hard work and dedication for the year, despite what's going on around them.
These girls blew me away with what they've accomplished this year because there wasn't a lot of, we missed several months of being able to meet together.
Accomplishments like this cook station for Camp Woodlands.
By helping out or making something.
The girls spent volunteer hours putting this together, getting the supplies. There was a lot of heavy lifting. The girls learned how to make cement and how to make mortar.
Earning a bronze award for their work, some Scouts also crossed over into a more mature role, solidifying just how much the program means to them.
It feels good because you know that you have other people with you and how they can be caring for you. That's something that I like about Girl Scouts.
In Alpena, Tiffany Maddox, WBKB News.
Thanks for that, Tiffany. An art contest hosted by the Presque Township Museum Society focuses on youth participation this year. Kindergartners through 8th grade are invited to submit their best drawings and paintings. President Mary Wright says they get visitors from all over the country. She says young artists look at things in new and fresh ways. She explains the museum's hopes for the future by involving the youth.
What we're hoping is that by sponsoring this youth art contest, that it's going to foster an awareness and an appreciation for our lighthouses.
The museum wants people of this and future generations to know the importance of the lighthouses. Wright explains what she feels young artists will bring to the table.
It's about drawings and paintings and collages and different media that I think will enable young artists to be very expressive and interpret the lighthouses in a unique and new way.
They're looking for two-dimensional work using pastels, pencils, crayons, glitter, and more. Submissions are accepted between now and August 14th. For more information, you can visit our website at WBKB11.com.
That sounds awesome.
It is.
Well, Sherry, have you ever been in a glass bottom boat?
I have not yet.
I got to go on one today, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
I was on the Lady Michigan today with some of the Alpena high schoolers, and we checked out a unique view of Shipwreck Alley. Science and the Sanctuary students at Alpena High School got to enjoy their second to last day of classes aboard the Lady Michigan this morning. After a year of on and off pauses and remote learning, spending this June day on the water was refreshing to say the least.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It's really exciting because it's the end of the year, but it's a lot of fun in general.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's the end of the year, but it's fun to get out and not be in school.
One of the class's teachers, Mr. Capeless, said this was the first hands-on experience the kids got this year. And even though school's almost over, he's just happy that they got out.
And it just makes it a more interactive day for them.
While the students study the marine sanctuary throughout the year, They say getting to take a look at what's underneath the surface from a glass bottom is a much more fun way to learn.
It's more interactive and it's a lot more like interesting, and you can actually see what you're learning about.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to get to see the things. It feels more realistic and it's more engaging.
Normally, a lot of the Science in the Sanctuary course is hands-on learning, but the pandemic limited what the school could offer the students this year.
This has been a really tough school year. I feel bad for the kids. They've missed out on many of the things that make school a lot of fun. And I didn't think we were going to be able to do a field trip. So it's so great to be able to get out here, get the kids on the water, and enjoying time in the sanctuary.
A regular school year would consist of building ROVs and learning how to scuba dive. And without that, being able to get the kids on the water today meant a lot.
Now that looked like a good time.
That was a blast. Took me a bit to get my sea legs. I was wobbling around a bit, but once I got the camera and everything set up, it was fun.
Awesome.
There's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, books celebrating diverse cultures are coming to Alpena's elementary schools, and meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your 7-day forecast next.
He enjoyed his morning coffee while waking up to this sunrise yesterday morning with the sun beaming down on 3 deer in the distance. Thank you, John, for sharing this photo with us. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you would like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@WBKB11.com.
It almost looks like that deer on the right is walking on water.
Right.
Must be really shallow over there, but that is a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Coming up on WBKB News, a concerning trend for transgender teens, and Jake Vanderbrook will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
Alpena's elementary schools are getting new books for their classrooms. Come fall, students will have more books on diverse cultures to choose from. The MLK Junior Committee serving Northeast Michigan worked with donors to purchase a set of 20 books for each of Alpena's 6 elementary schools. On Thursday, committee members stopped by Besser Elementary to present their books. Megan Gauthier, Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, says this is great news for the students.
I think it's great. I've worked with the MLK committee in the past to come and do assemblies for the kids. It helps to strengthen our efforts to promote diversity. We also have been working to add collections to our libraries to promote diversity in all walks of life.
Gauthier says today's donation aligns with the board's resolution to eliminate racism in the schools. The MLK committee is made up of volunteers who work to promote education of diverse cultures and healthy dialogue on social justice issues. And a huge shout out to committee member Sue Kraft for spearheading this important project.
That sounds like an awesome story. You're part of the committee, right?
I am. It's a great group of folks. A lot of great work.
Sounds awesome. On health news, can anti-inflammatories interfere with the COVID vaccine, and a concerning trend for transgender teens? CBS's Michael George has some of the day's top health stories.
More than half of transgender or gender minority teens are using tobacco, drugs, and alcohol. That's according to a study in the journal PLOS ONE, which finds teens are using substances to cope with stressors like rejection, harassment, and bullying. New research in the Journal of the American Medical Association finds continuous glucose monitors can help manage type 2 diabetes for patients on insulin. Monitors helped patients stay close to their glucose targets without going too low. The devices are already the standard of care for type 1 diabetics. And some patients taking the anti-inflammatory drug methotrexate had a weaker immune response to the COVID-19 vaccine. But researchers at the NYU Grossman School of Medicine say that doesn't mean they're not protected. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is here with a preview. Jake, what's going on tonight?
Hey, Tyler, next in sports, a big day for the ACC Lumberjacks athletic program as one Alcona Tiger put pen to paper. Plus, Todd Gurley paid a visit to the Lions last Thursday. So what's the latest on the former Falcon running back? We'll have the latest on that when WBKB News at 6 returns.
Well, thank you for watching WBKB News at 6.
Yes, visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Join us tonight for WBKB News at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.